Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, of course, the Minotauro has received a little change. Now, to be honest, I don't think that this tank has received like a massive change with this update. So, of course, this update, Wargaming announced that, or they implemented the fact that when you start the battle, you're automatically reloaded at the start. So you don't have to reload when the clock hits 0. Then the match starts and then you start to reload. The battle starts and you've already reloaded your shells. Now, I did it in a previous video how there is some tanks that this really has an impact for. Whereas this tank right here, the Minotauro, it is an auto reloader and it has got the reverse shell. So yes, it has impacted this tank. The only thing about it is because the tank is quite slow, it only really takes effect in smaller maps like Himmelsdorf or Mines or something like that. If you're on a big map, then it really doesn't affect it that much. So we're going to have a look at the stats of the tank, and we're going to have a look at just some battles. So of course it does have that reverse shell, so you've got to try your hardest. You've got to try your hardest. Don't be tempted to shoot that shell, because there's so many times, even in the battles that you're going to see from me, I'm tempted and I do actually use that last shell because I just get greedy. I get greedy and I'm thinking, you know what, I've got nothing else around, I might as well take that shot. And there's a difference between using that shot when you need to or when you have to, or, you know, there could be opportunities where you think, you know what, there's nothing else around me, I might as well hit this target and get more damage. And by the time I get to my next target, I would have reloaded all anyway. So the turret on this is very, very strong. However, I'm in the games that I've played, I haven't actually bounced that much, and it's very, very frustrating because, like, when I first played this tank, the armor profile was insane. It really was insane, but I just don't seem to be bouncing a lot. Even if I'm hold down, if I'm in the open, I just bounce nothing. But you know, you've just got to learn how to play the tank where it's best suited. And I think even in a hold down position is, of course, the best way to play it. But you need to get there, and you need to be patient, and you need to stay there. So your hull as well is also strong at 270. However, your lower plate is a lot weaker, very, very weak, and that is where everybody will try to aim. So of course, because it is the reserve shell, the DPM is atrocious, 1,845. Your reload between each shot is 3.53, basically 3.5 seconds. Your first shot, the reload is 21.7 seconds. That is a long reload, which is why you need to try your hardest in not using that last shell. 9.96 for the second shell and 9 seconds for your first shell. So using the last two shells, or the first two shells, not a problem, you know, just a 9-second plus your intra-click reload. So around about 12.5 seconds to 13 seconds to reload them shells. Of course, you've got 3 shells in your magazine. Your penetration is 289. I am actually running this with calibrated shells. It's an auto loader. If you're going to run it with the vents, you're not gaining that much DPM, if I'm honest. But you are gaining 374 heat pen, 72 on your HE. You've got a 490 alpha gun, 410 on your heat, and 630 on your HE. So if you are able to get them HE shots out, if you shoot a grill for your first shot and it does like around 600, then that is when I would think, you know what, I'm going to shoot 3 shells here, because I could almost kill him with my 3 shells. So in that situation, it may be worth using that last shell. But if you use that last shell and you don't kill the grill, then you're going to pay the price, because you've got a 20+ second reload. Aim time is 4.2 and dispersion 0.398, so not the best at all. 10 degrees of gun depression, and to be honest, if you want to bounce, you need to use that 10 degrees of gun depression, to be honest. And you've got a 34 kilometers per hour speed. So yeah, overall, like, I've always loved the tank. I think it's been a brilliant tank since it come into the game, to the point when I first played it, I thought, you know what, this tank is actually going to be a little bit overpowered. But now I've gone back to the tank and I'm playing it, I don't think it is overpowered. Because, well, for me anyway, because I just get deleted every time I freaking play the tank. That poor guy got deleted. So, I mean, even situations like here, like, still 5 seconds, I might as well wait 5 seconds to reload. Otherwise, I'll be waiting 20 plus seconds to reload. So it's just about being very, very patient. And again, there is going to be some situations like now, like, I'm not in a situation where I can go hold down. The enemy are all over the place. I'm not in a situation where I can sit, hold down, and just wait for the enemy tanks. I'm pushing forward. They've got 2 tanks down. The enemy are all over the place. Our team are pretty much all over the place. We're just bullying them. It looks like we're bullying them at this point. So here's the FE. Now the biggest problem with using that HE is sometimes it doesn't go your way, just like this first shot on the FE4005. And again, at this point, I could do over 500 damage to this guy, but what I want to do is wait for my second shell at least, because if I could do just over 500 damage, then I could actually kill this guy. So if I do that again, then I will be able to take him out. Unfortunately, I do low roll using my reserve shell, but it was worth the risk because I could have killed that guy. Luckily, my team is with me and they do manage to take him out. But again, now I'm on the move. So by the time I'm going to get shot from the IS-4, no problem. But by the time I get to this E100, I haven't actually got that long left to wait. But if I wouldn't have used that reverse shell, then I could have actually reloaded all 3 of my shells by now. And I would have probably just come out in front of him. The only thing I really hate about the tank is that traverse. And the fact that the turret don't go all the way around, it is an absolute pain, especially if you are being rushed by medium tanks. If you're being rushed by medium tanks, if you haven't got cover to your left or to your right, then you are going to be torn apart. Literally, you are going to be torn apart. And that, for me, is the biggest downfall about this tank, is that traverse. Or that turret, because you don't turn your turret all the way. It really does make, in some situations, make the tank suffer. And yeah, I've been rushed by many mediums, and there's literally not much I can do about it because my turret don't turn, and it's just very frustrating. But overall, I still think it is a very strong tank. Yes, the reload at the start, with the tanks being reloaded already, has helped the tank in certain situations, in certain maps. But there's not going to be that many maps where you're going to get to the enemy quick enough that you are not reloaded. Even without the reload at the start of the game, or without the shells being automatically reloaded, I don't think, if this battle here, if I was going to be reloading at the start of the game, by the time I get to the enemy, I would have probably just about reloaded anyway. So it's not a massive change for this tank in particular, but there are other tanks out there it does really help. And again, for small maps, yes, it does help this tank. If you can get on Mines or Himmelsdorf or some other, maybe this map, if I was to come to the middle and the tanks be there, then yeah, I've already reloaded 3 shells, because you're still looking at about 40 seconds to reload all 3 shells. So you're saving 40 seconds at the start of the game. And you've got to remember, you're only saving that at the start of the game. You're not saving it midway through the game, you're saving it at the start and only the start. So now I did use my last shell on that Death Star because I really wanted to kill him. And again, yes, I am on a reload now. The IS-7 is up there. He's still quite far away, and now he's gone. So just the 2 tanks left alive. And again, I've already reloaded 1 shell. So by the time I get to these guys, because I am quite slow, I would have reloaded all 3 shells anyway. So yeah, you've got to learn. You've just got to learn it, how to play the reserve shells. Don't just be trigger happy and just the enemy are there to fire all 3 shells because you want the damage. Because overall, you'll do more damage if you just be patient. You'll be more damage if you're patient and you don't use that last shell. But there are some situations where I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to take the shot. Like here, I could just take the shot because there's just 1 tank left alive. Am I going to be patient? Am I going to wait? I could have. I probably should have. at that point because he's still got a few hit points left. I could have probably waited for all 3 of my shells to be reloaded there. But that is me being trigger happy. You know, I'm thinking, okay, my guys are going to come round. They're going to destroy him. I'm probably only going to get 1 shot in anyway. Or we're going to win on supremacy points. And at this point, I do take that shot because of the supremacy points. I do see that we're going to win. But I could have done a bit more damage there. I could have actually killed him because I could have just got 3 shots into that guy. But me being trigger happy, I used my reserve shell and I paid the price because I lost out on damage. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Minotauro. Have the reloaded tanks at the start really affected it, or has it not really helped the tank much? It is still a strong tank. It is easily dealt with if it's in the open, but for me, it is a brilliant tank that definitely is worth grinding. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.